Hello, everybody. Back here again, Cynthia Allen, and I have with me Taro Iwamoto, and I'm so glad to be introducing you to him. Let me just say that if you're tuning in from Facebook or YouTube and you would like to chat with us or say hi, we would love for you to say hi. You would go over first to StreamYard and just enter your name so that we will be able to match your hi to your name or your question to your name. Makes it more personal for us. But this platform allows us to stream live to multiple places, which makes it super handy. And of course, we are talking about, that's right, we're talking about the Move Better, Feel Better 5-day challenge. Taro is with us as one of the 10 teachers. Hi.
Hi,
Good to
glad
have
to be here.
Good. Yeah, and I understand we've both been out in the garden trying to sneak in little bits of work where we can now.
That's right.
Yeah, which is for a lot of people something that gardening ends up being something that they start giving up in their life after a back injury. Probably the most common thing I hear is a back injury or knees. Knees start to bother them, they start giving it up. So I hope that people will get a chance to really enjoy this challenge. 5 days, one Feldenkrais awareness through movement lesson a day, May 6th through 10th. And by the way, if you haven't registered, you can register for that by looking in the description and clicking on the link. So, Taro, I called this like a little bit of a wrestling match between us. I thought we'd try to dig into some controversial things.
Sure, yeah.
Because in a real wrestling match, I know who would win, but
You never know.
You never know. That's right. Yeah, so you have this wonderful YouTube channel. Oh, hi, Christine. Thanks for saying hello. You have this wonderful YouTube channel that is super popular, and you say a lot of bold things on that channel in your headlines for your short videos. Knee pain gone, cure sciatica. Okay, let's wrestle about this, Taro. Is that really the way it is?
Sure, yeah. That's right. Yeah, fix something in 10 seconds or 30 seconds, right? Yeah. Knee pain gone and forever. Shoulder pain, neck pain gone forever, right? Yeah. So what do you want me to say about that? Yeah, I know I made bold statements about
It's
that.
so very un-Feldenkrais, you know
It
that.
is right.
But
Yes,
it's
yes.
so very good marketing, but it's so very un-Feldenkrais.
Right, right. Yeah, of course, it is something, the concept or the wording is the something that I have struggled with for quite a long time when I started as a Feldenkrais practitioner. All those, the words fixing, correcting, right? All those things that are so against the Feldenkrais method or the principles of the Feldenkrais method. So of course I was very, very nervous about using those terminology the first time. And in fact, I really intentionally avoided using those terms and words because in my mind, in my heart, and said, okay, we're not about doing that. We're not about fixing people. We're not about correcting people. So I tried to, be a title the videos in a more Feldenkrais way. And then I wasn't really, nobody's watching my videos.
That's right. No one does, do they? I mean, how can you help people if nobody watches them?
Right. And then so I kept going with that for a while. Then I was studying the Feldenkrais. I was studying the YouTube and understanding algorithm and then how the YouTube categorizes the videos. And then soon realized that the YouTube is a search engine, which means that people use a specific terms and to look for a solution specific to what they're looking for. Then, okay, well, how could I really help people in the first place? And that's kind of how this all started.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, I understand this struggle. I have a couple of videos that really went wild, and it's because I studied the YouTube algorithm and took my time to actually develop a video and some wording for them that allowed people to find them. And then I haven't spent hardly any time in that way since then. But the difference is striking. I mean, the videos that I didn't do that for, they have a few thousand views. The videos that I did it have 1 million views, 2 million views, headed towards 3 million views. So the and they're it's not that they aren't getting value out of it, right? That's that they are getting value out of it, but of course it's not really the solution to the problem. It's a gateway, it's an entry for
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Now you have a background as a physical therapy assistant and as an exercise physiologist. Is that correct? In addition
Correct.
to Feldenkrais,
Yep.
so you've got quite a broad training that you're drawing on. You don't draw just on the Feldenkrais method
Hmm.
when you're thinking about these problems and these issues. But you must think the Feldenkrais method does bring something unique to all these problems that you've been a part of treating for years.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like you said, I have a background working in the physical therapy settings, and I have studied exercise physiology extensively. So, and the rehab and kinesiology, that part. So, used to prescribe exercises based on the impairments and dysfunctions that we identify, and sort of the corrective approach, that pretty common approach to solving issues and specific issues. Then the I was doing that for quite a while in the outpatient physical therapy clinic and great clinicians all. But at the same time, and in being having been in the same clinic and for about 10 years, and then patients get better, and then we see the patients returning to the clinic, and after maybe a year, maybe 2 years sometime, and sometimes with almost identical issues that they came in first. So that seeing that over and over after years, and then I started to question, wonder why keep repeating the same thing over and over, and maybe there's more to something, that maybe I'm yet to find out. So, and then I came across the Feldenkrais method and maybe some literatures and about habits and talking about the habits. And I became very, very curious and interested in then studying more. And so the fundamental difference, I think, is it's, well, it's really hard to put it into words in a simple way, but it's looking from the lens of the Feldenkrais method and looking more holistically, uh, in a more holistically, not looking at just body parts by body parts, but looking at the relationship. That's what's really uh, opened my eyes as I started studying the Feldenkrais method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's difficult, I think, for people when we've been so schooled in muscle strengthening or stretching as the primary ways of injury prevention or a cure of injuries and injury prevention. Actually, it's both. It's very difficult to sort of wrap our minds around this idea that there's something about addressing the underlying structure of how the person, we call it, organizes their movement. It's like their movement map, how to make their movement map uh, or their self-image map, the map that tells them about the parts of themselves and then how they work together, um, that would be just as important. And it's not something that you can actually say, well, you take a step like this. You do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one step. Can you do that? It's not that kind of way, is it?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating, and I do see, of course, the value in the other approaches. It's not that they aren't important, but there
Yep.
does seem to be some piece missing in the rehab model often that the Feldenkrais method does bring to the fore.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hmm. And then you're doing home health care some these days. Is that correct?
Yep. That is correct.
And so, are you seeing mostly elderly then, or people post surgery, or both of those?
Both. Both. Yeah. But I would say maybe 70% geriatric population with a
Uh-huh.
different uh, the physical disabilities or the challenges. Yeah, but I do see orthopedic patients just post total knee replacement, joint replacements, and things like
Hmm.
that. Yeah,
Hmm.
motor vehicle accidents sometimes. Yeah.
And do you just find that the work sort of blends in for you in a way that you can use? I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's sometimes I think I may not be uh, incorporating Feldenkrais exercises or the movements per
Mhm,
se, but definitely the way that I meet people, clients,
mhm,
is definitely done the influence by the Feldenkrais method, meeting people where they're at, and that's really really important because when we come in within a judgment or expectations where they should be at, and then we start to impose and our ideas and because we are a therapist, we are a teacher, we know better than them, and this is what they should do, and that's a very different, and especially people with somebody with a cognitive deficits and or dementia or something, they can get very very agitated easily when they can sense and pick up things very very easily because then we're trying to make them do something that they don't really feel comfortable, but we're not really tuned into that, and then we start to kind of give and give and give. There's really no feedback and give and receive.
mhm. It's a very our relationship with clients is very listen, adapt, go in the direction of what interests them. And when people say something hurts, we really pay attention to that. When something doesn't feel good, we really, really pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know for years when people have come into my private practice and have been seeing physical therapy, they often come in and they have their first session with me, and they'll say, "Well, what of my physical therapy exercises should I continue doing?" And then they show me this big long list, because
Hmm.
oftentimes it's built up over a matter of years of what they feel they should be doing, months or years. And I always say what things feel like they're really valuable to you, and then people start telling me which ones they enjoy, which ones make sense to them. But they also often tell me which ones hurt them, that they're doing them because they think that they need to do them. And I always say, well, do you if would you like it if we would spend a session Feldenkrais your exercises? We'll take your exercises and we'll see if we can make it so that it doesn't hurt and you can still get the benefit of it. And I think for me, that's a key thing that I feel like I've been able to offer to people who do follow the traditional model, but still find somehow it's just gets to a stuck point somehow for them. Somehow it gets to some kind of stuck point, either because of the pain in the exercises or because they've got so many of them and they don't know
Yeah,
where to spend their time.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're talking about the Move Better, Feel Better 5-day challenge that's coming up May 6th through 10th. And Taro is going to be teaching on the actual last day on the 10th in the beginner track.
Yep.
And then he'll also be around for the somatic applications discussion. I hope that you're not all hearing that weird sound that I'm hearing, but I hope it's not bothering people. Um, so he's going to be teaching the last day, and we're going to be playing around on that last day with uh, eyes and the importance of eyes in organizing. And Taro, I know a lot of people tuning in are really concerned in the beginner section about
Mhm.
whether they will be able to do the lessons. Can they get up and down from the floor? Are we going to make them go to the floor, or maybe they can't lie flat? Is your lesson going to be a good lesson for these folks?
Yeah, yeah. So my lesson will be done sitting in a chair, and so I hope most people are able to just find a seat and be able to just sit comfortably in a chair or maybe edge of the bed. That would be fine. And for those of people who maybe find difficulty sitting for extended period of time, and always as a Feldenkrais practitioner, encourage students and participants to self-regulate, self-pace, and just to stop, rest if they need to, take a break and stop, and because 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to go, but maybe 45 minutes around that time. Sitting for that length of the time, maybe a little too much for some people, but that's absolutely okay because they don't have to be sitting in a chair all the time. So, yeah, I think so. I think it is appropriate for most people.
Great. And do you want to give us a YouTube algorithm rich title for it? Like, uh, what would we call this one?
um,
Cure neck pain by moving your eyes. How about that one?
yeah, well, I'll just go. I ask a chat GPT then.
And then, so actually, the eyes will be. You might think it's a weird thing to play with, but I have to tell you, this is a lesson you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss day 5. There will also be somebody else teaching in the experience track. Nick Klein Strauss will be teaching in the experience track. I always try to mix his last name up. I hope I got that right. And both of them will be exploring though how the eyes can really turn around and relieve a whole lot of issues. Excuse me. So I think it'll be really good. Let's see here. We got a comment from yeah, good, Christina. I hope you are going to join us for the challenge. It'll be great. It will be good. And then later in the day, at least later in the day, in terms of the North American time zones, we will be having a somatic applications discussion between Taro and myself and practitioners, physical therapists, occupational therapists, massage therapists, physicians, people that are in the field of rehab, movement, wellness, Pilates teachers, yoga teachers, etc. So we'll be breaking open a particular theme within the Feldenkrais method, talking about that lesson and how it may or may not have applications in the clinical-based practice or in an exercise program, and elements of it that might be easy for you to apply in your own work without becoming a Feldenkrais practitioner or teaching a Feldenkrais lesson. And then, of course, there will also be, hopefully, a lot of good discussion that we can wrestle with.
Nice.
So I just want to encourage you again to sign up for the Move Better, Feel Better 5-day challenge, May 6th through 10th, by clicking on the description. And Taro, also, we're going to talk about, Taro and I are going to talk about, for those of you who are tuning in that are unsighted and have said, what's all you Feldenkrais people deal with eyes? We're going to talk about how we can make that a lesson that will be easier for you to explore without having to be challenged by the situation with your different feelings that you have, or lack of feeling or sensation or movement that you have that comes from being unsighted. And Donna says, I'm signed up for the challenge. I get the 2 classes per day. So Donna, you are a professional. That's why you get the 2 classes per day. If you want to do both, you can. Will they be dealing with the same thing or 2 different? They're 2 completely different lessons, but they are, one is for beginners that works with the organization of the eyes, for example. And then the experienced, adventuresome one is a more adventuresome, experienced lesson that works with the organization of the eyes. So they are kind of scaled, but they're not an exact replica of each other. They are usually completely different lessons, but one more appropriate to beginners and one more appropriate to people who are experienced in the work or really are injury free. So you're going to get both, Donna. You're going to get both lessons as replays, but you did have to sign up for one of the 5-day series if you're not in the Pro Challenge, because we just want to keep you focused and safe. So I don't know which one you signed up for, but you can do the other lessons on replay for sure. The VIP deal is a great program. So I'm glad that you signed up for it. Taro, it was nice to have you. Thank you for taking some time. And I imagine you and I are both going to go right back out to our gardens and try to get a little more in before the end of the day. And thank
That's,
you, everybody, for tuning in. We
yeah.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye bye.